And let me tell you, if I would take time to share with you how I've been visited by the Lord, and I have a witness on the other side, somebody somewhere that get connected to me, it was only a miracle. I can think of one day, there's a powerful man in Haiti. I know this guy. I knew him since I was a lad, a young boy. He was a friend of my oldest brother, who was an engineer who get killed. I remember I met this man. He was a very powerful man in Haiti. You know, very powerful. One day I was passing by a place and I saw a lot of officers, about 7 police officers in armed force, well armed, and then in front of a flea market. And I stopped and I said, is the president here? They said, no, it's a minister. And I said, I must see who is so powerful in the country. And then I stood there. Who came out? He was the guy who was the friend of my brother, almost a friend of the family. And maybe 6 or 7 years before, we met at a bank. He gave me his number. He said, at Laos, give me a call me. And I didn't call him. He's an attorney also. We met 1 year later at the same bank. He said that I asked him to call me, but I didn't call him. But I had a neighbor who knew him, and when he gave me the card and I was talking to my neighbor, he said, oh, this guy's a big shot in this country, man. I don't think you're going to be able to save him. So even he asked me to call him, but I was discouraged. I didn't call him. But 6 years later, he became that so powerful guy, so I called him by name. When I saw that was him, I said, hey, Renel. He looked at me, but those security guys just pushed him inside his car, so he didn't call me. Brothers, that happened on Tuesday. On Sunday, I went to another place. It's like a ShopRite. And when I was inside, he wore short pants, and we met again face to face. He walked toward me, he shook my hands, but didn't say a word. My friend, there is another brother who has a big school. He used to be an officer, also an engineer. So this guy, I met him. So we talk, and I said, you know who I want to see? I want to see Renel. He said, this guy is so busy, man. He's not an easy guy. And then he said, I'm going to try my best to see him. When he went to see the man, their birthday was a Saturday. He said that, come next week because it's my birthday. It was his birthday also. He went back and talked to the man. So when he talked to the man, he told me that he would give me his number. But he had also some issues to take care of. He didn't give me the number. Let me tell you. He didn't give me the number. One day, I was on my balcony. Guess what? I opened a book. I found the man number, 2 numbers on a piece of paper. I said, how this paper gets here? And I said, let me see if it's a good number. I called him. He answered the phone. I said, I have that number for Minister Renel, I don't know if it's good. He said on the other phone, who is talking? I said, this is Raus. I said, call me in 15 minutes. Oh, the number was good. So it's to tell you, God has a fine way to take care of things. To show you, I get in touch with him, we talk, nothing works. Except that God saw that I had that urge. I wanted to talk to him to see if he could help with MIBOSAM. That was the main needs. I didn't have any other problem. And I left Haiti, I travel, I come back here. So we talk, but God proved to me that he is able to give me the number. The other testimony I will give you some other time. Now, let me finish up with that. God says that there is also the devil who operates almost like God. Just not say Lord, Lord, Lord. He said that what he means there, not just words, not saying Lord, Lord. First, God wants us. He wants a sign of respect and acknowledgement. God wants us to respect him, his name. That truly highlights the difference between outward profession and inner reality. Number two, we have to be doers, not just hearers. So the core message is about practical obedience. It's just practical obedience. Doing God's will, not just hearing or speaking about God when our heart is very far from God. Let's look at a third point. God wants action over affiliation. You know, a bunch of people are being called bishops. People need titles because it makes a difference for them. But God is looking at your action. The warning here is over religious activities, status, like being a prophet. These days, like we say that, we have more bishops than pastors because the titles help the people to feel good. Some can even be great miracle workers. They can even heal people. A substitute for a genuine, obedient relationship with God. If we go back to the book of Exodus, in chapter 10, we see that Pharaoh and Moses and Aaron went unto Pharaoh, and they did so as the Lord had commanded. And Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it became a serpent. Now, God was operating through Moses and Aaron. Guess what? The magicians, those guys working for the king of Egypt, they replicate. They did the very same thing God did. So that means we're not going to fool ourselves. When someone says God, there are many gods, but there is not under the Lord like Jesus of Nazareth. That's why it's by his name we can cast out devil. Make sure that you don't keep saying Lord, Lord, without practicing without obeying God's voice, hearing his voice. So we say that Pharaoh's wise men and sorcerers turned their staffs into serpents using their secret arts. So if we go back to Jesus' teaching in Matthew, we see that he encouraged us. He said that many will say to me in that day. Now, understand, we will be facing Jesus in the last day, not on earth, in heaven. You don't see how you're going to get there, but he has the power to do that. He has the power. He cannot entrust such message to me without convincing me. Yes, you will meet with God one day. So make sure that when you say Lord, it's not the devil. There are many lords, but there is one God. That's the God I want you to embrace. I want you to walk with him. He loves you in spite of your weaknesses, in spite of your shortcomings. It's a loving God. His blood was shed for us to have access to him, to receive forgiveness. And we must enjoy being in his presence. We must love him with our whole heart. Don't keep anything for the enemy. Give your life to Jesus. God bless you, and we will put an end also with Church of Olive in New Jersey, Orange. God bless you. See you again.